everyone, welcome back to part 2 of me colouring in Mouse Guard. So it is this book, in case you've not seen it before. Unfortunately out of print at the minute, but you can sometimes pick copies up from eBay, etc. and other selling sites. But it was this page we started in part 1. I did, just in my own time, colour this little bit at the bottom, his body blue, because in part 1 I completely forgot about it. I coloured his head and his hands and then I forgot about his body. So I have just done that in my own time, so don't you forget about his body if you colour along. But yeah, part 2, this part is going to be doing all the flowers, his little cape, and then a little bit of pencil detailing. Hopefully I can get it done in part 2, but if I can't, there'll be a little part 3 just to add little accents and things, I'm sure, in that part. So if, in case you didn't watch part 1, I am using the Derwent Inktense pencils, so I'm going to continue with that. I will bring you right in. Bring the camera down, maybe up a little bit more. If you can hear children in the background, it is still the weekend, but Daddy is home, so they're being well looked after there, don't worry about that. Although they may come in. As mentioned in part 1, they do love to come and find Mum, whether Dad's in the same room. It doesn't matter. If they want something opening, they'll come and ask me because I'm Mum. So I am going to go straight in on the cape first, I think. Now the colour I've picked out to do the cape is an ironing green, I think that's how you pronounce it. So it is this one, and I have got a swatch of this to show you. It is this lovely green here. So I'm just going to go straight in with that one for the cape. My daughter's doing some terrible singing at the minute. I'm not quite sure what she's singing. That part of the flower. Now, you know what, that should be blue as well. This little bit here, there's a little tiny bit of something there which should be blue, or is it a flower? That's a flower head. That's a flower head, but I don't know. That might be part of his body, I think. And yeah, and then that's his tail, isn't it? That's his tail. So yeah, Kirsty's missed another bit. Always, why? I'm gonna bring you in a bit closer anyway. Always missing something. I've got issues, I think. Issues for seeing the little details. Oh dear. So a lovely friend of mine has just been to one of the local stores on a hunt for some PE t-shirts for my daughter, because she has certain types of clothes that she can tolerate or that she likes, and then anything else is just a no-go. So the only top she had left for PE at school had a little hole in it. She'd done it herself. I don't know where she's done it. She's poked an hole in it or cut an hole in it purposely at the bottom. So I just asked my friend to have a look in the local store while she was there to see if they had any of these particular t-shirts, and they did. They had one pack left in a size, so she very kindly picked it up for me, and I've just been to pick it up from her house. So she is still a bit, I have just shown her the t-shirts and she still is a bit like, she was like, at first she was like, oh, are they for me? And I said, yeah, because your other one's got a hole in it. And she seemed happy at first, and then it's just like something switched in her brain and she's like, oh, well, I'm not going to wear them in the morning. I was like, oh no, don't even start. Well, that's sensory processing disorder for you guys. I had a mad hunt trying to find out where these t-shirts had come from in the first place. They have a particular sleeve on them. It's like a little puffy sleeve. It's not a straight sleeve. It's like a bit of a ruffled or sleeve to it. But because she makes me cut the labels out of her clothes, I couldn't look on the label to see where I'd actually purchased these tops from. So I was like, I had no inkling. I was just having a look around the stores online to see if I could see what the sleeve looked like on all the tops. It can be a nightmare, guys. It really is. I love this colour for the capes in this book. I think most of the mice in this book have little capes on, and I do either do them in this ironing green, or there's a really nice reddy brown shade that's quite nice for the capes as well. So I either use one or the other. I do find myself going to those same colours every time. Can hear my son giggling away downstairs. got each other giddy at the dining table yesterday when they were eating the tea, and they just would not stop laughing. Absolutely, they thought everything was hilarious, and they got themselves so hyped up that in the end, just sat there looking at each other was hilarious. I mean, I don't know. That's an emergency vehicle. Like I mentioned in part 1, if there's not one of them in my videos, there's something wrong. So that is the cape. I'm thinking these are just some sort of straps and belt. I'm gonna do that the same colour. Oh, I've missed a bit of the, where's the ironing green? I always miss bits. I've missed a bit of the cape there and a bit here. I'll do the ties in some sort of metallic, I think, those colours. But we'll do that. I will just as well, while I've got my blue out, the blue bit that I've missed there, I'll sort that out as well. So let's activate both of those. Let's activate that bit so I don't forget. Try and blend it in a bit. Oh my gosh, my son. Can you hear him screaming and laughing? There's no point trying to get them to be quiet, because kids will be kids. Kids will be kids. It's the weekend, so there you go. You'll have to put up with it, guys. I apologise. And I think they're coming upstairs in a minute, so that'll be even worse. But there we go. Right, I'm going to move on to the flowers now. So I have decided for the flowers, at the tops, very tops of the flowers, I'm going to use a deep indigo. So it's really quite dark, this colour. Let me see if I can find the swatch. So it is this one. And then I'm going to tie just a little bit on the ends. I'm going to tie in some of this apple green, just to bring some of the apple green from here amongst the rest of the page. A lot of this watercolour, I say watercolour, it's not watercolour, a lot of this ink can look quite patchy in areas, but once you put your pencil shades in, it is completely fine. I mean, I'm happy with the snail, that is gorgeous. But yeah, we'll start on the flowers. So, deep indigo. Like I said, the kids are up here now, so if you hear any shouting, screaming, laughing, arguing, that's them. Enjoy listening to them. I'm sure I'll miss the noise when they're all grown up. That's what people keep telling me anyway. People keep saying, oh, you'll miss the noise when they're all grown up and moved out, so I'll keep telling myself that. I'll keep telling myself. I imagine it will be lonely after having 5 noisy kids in the house when they've all grown up. I imagine it will be quite lonely. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know. The youngest is only 5. So, youngest is 5, eldest is 14. There's a big age gap between the first eldest and the youngest. So I'm not going to activate any of this until I've got all the colour down. So I'm even going to put the green on here before I activate it. I've picked out a separate green colour for the stalks as well. These little branches are the stalks that the flower heads are dangling from. I think it's a beach green that I've picked out for those little bits. Still in frame. Don't go over his tail, Kirsty, don't go over his tail. I have to tell myself that, because if I don't tell myself that, I will colour it in blue. And I do want him to have, ignore my children, I do want him to have a pink tail. Even though he's blue, I want him to have his little pink tail. I've just bathed the 2 youngest kids as well, because it's school tomorrow, so I've just bathed the youngest 2. My eldest is in the shower now, and then my other 2 daughters will be getting their baths after tea time, or after dinner time, whatever you call it. Whatever you would call it. Over here in the UK, if you live in the south, you have breakfast, dinner and breakfast, lunch and dinner, and if you live in the north like me, you have breakfast, dinner and tea. Oh my gosh, my kids are crazy today. We'll have to watch Matilda musical again. They love that, the kids. the new movie that's come out, the Matilda musical. I absolutely love it. I quite like colouring flowers, especially with these Derwent Inktense. Don't know what we're trying to come out by my mouth there. Especially with the Derwent Inktense. Oh dear me. Don't know what it is with my words lately. I keep muddling them all up. I think I try to talk too fast. I need to slow down and think about what I'm actually spiting out my mouth. I will of course do another colour along out of the Fragile World as well, because I posted 2 pages in the voting rounds from that book. The other one was it a moose? It looks like a moose. It's probably not. It's probably something else. Might be an antelope. I don't know. What is it? It's gonna annoy me. Let me have a quick look. I completely just do not know what it is. Let me have a look. Sorry for making you go. Oh my gosh. That is my son what's doing that screaming. Is there any need? Is there any need? Do apologise. Where is this page? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So it's this guy. I know I'm zoomed in a bit, but it's that guy. What is that animal? Should we have a look? What number is it? 14. Let's see what it says in the back of the book. 14. 14. Yeah, antelope. Yeah, so I can do that as a colour along, the antelope, because that was the other page, one of the choices for the vote. So after I've done this page, we will do the antelope. I'll have to Google a reference. I try and do them how they are traditionally, the colours in that Fragile World book. I have gone off on some of the pages where I've just done my own colours, but mostly I think I tried to get a bit of realism in that book. So I will Google a reference of an antelope and check out the colours. Yeah. But I was asking about colour palettes as well next to doing this book, and someone mentioned doing a pastel colour palette. I thought that would be quite cool actually, because I've done quite bold pages in here. I think it'd be quite nice to go the other way, in the other direction, and just see what a pastel one looked like. Obviously I won't be able to use my Derwent Inktense because there is no pastel shades in the Derwent Inktense. That's the only downside to them. I've always said that they're lovely vibrant pops of colour, but they don't do anything a bit more delicate in the range. I think if they brought out some more subtle tones, I think they'd be onto a winner. I've always said that about these pencils, because they are gorgeous, but if you just want something a bit different or a bit more subtle, then you can't really get it with these pencils. Right, last one down here, and then we'll go in with the green pencil, and then we can activate it all. It probably will end up being in 3 parts this actually, because we've got all the shading to do that I wanted to do on the mouse, and yeah, got quite a way to go yet. So I'm going in with the apple green, and I'm just popping a bit on the ends. And there is another emergency vehicle. Popping it on the ends, and then hopefully it's going to be a nice blend. It'll just be a tiny little pop of green on here, so I'm not putting too much in. It is going to merge. A lot of that blue will merge into the green because it's more dominant. Obviously it's a really deep indigo colour. I've managed to get through loads of washing today. I had a load of washing mounted up. As you can imagine, with 5 kids and 2 adults in the house, it's a nightmare, the washing. So I've almost got on top of it. I was quite chuffed with myself. So I just thought I'll sit down for a minute and film. I've bathed the youngest kids. I've done all my washing. Let's film this for a minute, and then I can go back to bathing the other 2 and making tea. And then it'll be bedtime routine before school in the morning. My eldest daughter has to get up really early in the morning, really early. She perhaps doesn't have to get up as early as she does, but you know, teenage girls these days like to do the hair for school, don't they? I remember I used to have the most horrific hairstyles when I was younger. I used to either scrape it back into a high ponytail, because high ponytails were all the rage then. I actually went to school in pigtails, 14 years old, and I used to go to school in pigtails. I don't know what occurred there. I've missed a bit as well here. Where's the indigo? Deep indigo. I've missed this little flower. Yeah, actually still went to school in pigtails. And my hair was just terrible. Now my 14-year-old daughter now, she gets up at like 5:30 in the morning to curl all her hair. And she goes to school looking like a goddess with her hair. I mean, yeah, that's the difference. What a friend was saying to me, they have like TikTok to look at now, don't they, with all the hairstyling tips and little tutorials, and we never used to have any of that. So they've learnt through watching TikToks and all that stuff how to style the hair, haven't they? So I'm gonna activate this now. Let's see how this turns out. I'm not sure what this is gonna look like when it's blending, but I'm hoping it'll look nice. Just dab my brush off if I think there's too much pigment going down. That's quite nice. That's quite nice. I'm going to put details into this as well at the end. It's either going to be metallic paints of some description or white gel pen that I'll be putting nice little detailing in with. So I find, if you find that you've got any darker areas, like if you find this is too dark and you want to brighten it up, then white gel pen accents really can make them pop. Smudge that a little bit. My kid's going on a few trips with school as well. My little boy's got a trip to the farm coming up in March. Going to the farm with school. My other girl's got 2 trips coming up. One's a water sports activity, so they're going doing canoeing and different water sports. And then she's got a trip to a museum as well coming up, a museum trip. Concentrating now so I don't get too much of that blue going down. This one should be okay because it's right underneath the black line art. I didn't think this book would go out of print. It seems to be such a popular book or sought after book, but you find that, don't you? Once something's gone out of print, everyone kind of wants it. It was the same with the which other book went out of print that I was trying to get hold of? I forgot the artist. Emily Lytle-Oberg, or Emily, yeah, I think it's Emily Lytle-Oberg. One of her books went out of print. I can't pronounce the name of it, but it was a gorgeous book and I wish I had it. She's got one that you can still get hold of, which I've got, but I really liked the other book that you can't get hold of, which is sod's law, isn't it? But somebody told me, I can't remember, a lovely subscriber or a lovely Instagram follower of mine, I think it might have been Deb Elbeck. She messaged me saying that the artist of this book has a patron where you can get the colouring pages from him. So if anyone's interested in that, might be worth checking out. There might be new pages that aren't even in this book. If you are planning on doing that and printing out, I recommend a 160 GSM paper, especially if you're going to be using any sort of water medium. I normally use a 160 GSM cardstock off Amazon. Sometimes I get a 180, but there's not much difference in it, to be honest. There's really not much that difference. That's a dark one. That's up there. Let's activate these ones that are a bit lower down. I'm glad I put that popper green in though. It's like it's taking this colour up to the rest of the page. It sort of merges better. Don't know what to do for tea today. The kids had hot dogs yesterday. I think last time I was on a colouring chat I was saying I'd done them hot dogs. I don't just only feed them hot dogs, but it just seems that whenever I talk about what I've done for them, it's hot dogs. But no. They'll not be having hot dogs tonight. My eldest daughter likes this barbecue chicken you can get. Sticky sweet barbecue chicken. And she likes all the golden rice and veg with it, because she doesn't really like potatoes, so I can't put anything potato based with her meals. Like, she doesn't like mashed potato, boiled potato, jacket potato. She's very fussy with her chips. She sort of only likes one kind of chips that you can't cook yourself, you know, you can only purchase from a fast food chain. The fussy kids, aren't they? Be interesting to see what they eat as they get older and, you know, have to cook for themselves. I used to be a good eater. No, I think my mum won the lottery when she got me and my sister. Well, me. I'm not sure about my sister. My sister's a bit fussier with food. But she won the lottery when she got me, my mum. Because I used to eat all sorts. And I love salmon as well. She used to always make me salmon, and I still love that now. Have I activated that one? How am I gonna... Is it wet? Yeah. I had to check then. I'm like, it's leaking a bit of sauce. It does dry quite quickly though, because you don't need to use much water at all. It does dry rather quickly. So is everybody happy with me doing the antelope page next for the colour along? Or would you prefer to see something else? See, that's gone a bit pilly. A bit pilly. I've not done a Hannah Carlson page in a while as well. Maybe I'll have to put that on the list. Put that on the list of... not done Hannah Carlson. I've not done a Tim Jeffs page in a while as well. But I find whenever I post colour alongs in the Intricate Ink books, they're not as popular. They're really not as popular as other colour alongs. It's lovely rich colour at the top there, isn't it? Just these ones at the bottom now, and then that's all them ones done. Let's start up here. children are coming back upstairs again, so if you constantly hear noise up here, you know why. Hear little voices. And my daughter was so happy on Friday as well. She came home from school and they collect what's called dojo points. So if they've been good in school, if they've done the homework, they get awarded these points. And at the end of the week, whatever child has got the most dojo points gets to pick a little prize from the little prize box. So it's only something little small, you know, like a little token. And she got this teeny tiny, it was like a really mini square sized little notebook. She loves it, and she always writes me little notes inside. Like she always writes, "Hazel loves mummy." It's so cute, so cute, with a little love heart. She's so sweet. She's the sweetest. She can be mischievous and a little monkey, don't get me wrong, but she is adorable. She is adorable. I wipe my brush off, or clean it off should I say, just to get that a bit better down there. Last little one here. So that's that. Let's see if I can get it all on. So that's that all activated. What I'm going to do now is go in on the branches with the, what colour was it I said? Was it beach green? Said I was going to use. Let me have a look. I'm sure it was, but I don't know where it's gone. Yeah, beach green I'm going to use for these. I've missed a bit of the background there as well. Why am I always missing little teeny tiny bits? What is wrong with me? I've got my glasses on, I promise. Yeah, it's not too different a green to what we've used on the cape. It's slightly brighter, this colour, I think. From looking at the swatches anyway, looks a bit brighter. Right, where else have we got stalks? Don't let me miss any, guys. Not that you're going to be shouting at me while I'm filming and it's not live, but if you see that I've missed anything, drop it in the comments. I mean, oh, this is part of that, isn't it? That's the stalk, yes. Almost missed that, almost missed it. I've missed something there, that's part of his cloak. Oh gosh, Kirsta. Right, I'm getting the ironing green while I do that little bit there. And I'm going to activate it straight away because I will forget about it. Honestly, I'm the worst. Right, that's his cape done. Right, back to the little stalky bits. That's his tail, which I've managed to get green on somehow. That will not lift off now, so that's tough. I'll just have to try and get over it with the pink, unfortunately. But we shall see. Right, we're still in frame, we are. Now, these bits I will have to be very careful with when I'm activating them because they're teeny tiny. Teeny tiny. Just this bit down the bottom. I'm hoping this will give sort of a pop of green, but not too bright, but enough to stand out a bit more from the leaves, if you know what I mean. Right, is that everything? Is that all of that? I think it is. So let's go in with the water. Very carefully. Not to get it on the background. Keep knocking pencils if you can hear random tapping. Yeah, that's the kind of green I was hoping for. That's lovely. There we go. Where else have I got it? Down here. Now this is the bit where it's easier to miss bits, because you think you've activated them and you've not. That. I've done that one, haven't I? Dip back into some clean water and we'll go over this side. My son's singing away again, coming up the stairs, so if you hear that, that's his lovely singing voice. Have I activated these ones? I am cracking up. No, I've not done these ones down here and all that for definite. Just casually shouting 1 million, I have no idea why, but there we go. Right, I think I've activated everything there. I think. Let me zoom you out a little bit. So that's what we've kind of got so far. I'm thinking of a sort of a brown colour for this rope. Let's look at the colours, or a reddy brown. And for his belt as well. Like maybe this red oxide, that's a really nice colour. I think I'm going to grab that out of the case. Where's my pencil case gone? Red oxide. Red oxide, where are you, red oxide? There we go. Yeah, there we go. Let's get it nice and sharp because we are getting into teeny tiny areas now, which is a bit tougher. So, this looks like the belt that I'm going to do in this colour. And this bit. I kind of don't want too many colours going on now, so I am just going to try and get it all similar shades. This bit as well, I feel like it's part of the belt. Obviously this bit in the middle. The actual bit around the outside I'm going to do in metallic paint or some sort of glitter gel pen of sorts. I'm going to do his little satchel this colour as well. I'll do the rope a different colour. I'll figure out a different colour for that. So I'm just going to activate this for now. Oh, get that off. Do a little bit in the end. There we go. So what colours have we got? What might be nice for the rope then? Let's have a look at the swatches again. Where was the... Here. So what might be nice for the rope? Maybe an amber or a saddle brown. What do I think? Amber, saddle brown. I think I'll go for a saddle brown. Let's see. Saddle Brown, where are you, Saddle Brown? There we go. This definitely needs sharpening. So yeah, I think this is going to be part 2, me just finishing off this, and then part 3 is going to have to be the shading, I think, guys. So please do tune in for part 3, because that's always the best bit. Finishing up the page and putting the last little details on is always the best bit. Pencil snapped. Or I think it's the best bit anyway. Who agrees? Because you have ugly stages with colouring, and then when you've finally got everything in place, it's looking really nice. The same colour that I've just done the rope, I'm going to do on this little bit of fabric, tassels, whatever they are, what's hanging down off this, I'm going to do in the same colour. I'm going to have to be careful there, aren't I? That's very, very tiny over these flower petals. Teeny tiny there. If I had a size 0 brush, now would be the time for it, for activating that, but I don't. So we'll have to be careful with my size 4. That's just going to be how it is. Right, so let's do the rope first, because that's not as nitpicky. There we go. Yeah, that's a nice colour. And then very carefully up here. There we go. Now, I need to decide. This bit I see as being wooden, do you? This bit here, so I think I am. What colour looks more wood-like? Might get to my swatches again. What colour looks more wood-like? They're all green, so I've only really got this. The saddle browns I've just used. Maybe an oak. Yeah, I think I'll use the oak for the bottom bit. Give it a good sharpen again. So this is oak. Pencils keep snapping because I'm sharpening them too much, guys. Note to self, they don't need to be that sharp. Right, so that's all we need in that. Let's get this activated. I've just noticed I've missed another bit as well. Let's zoom you in and I'll show you what I've missed. That is part of that leaf there. So I will get the fuchsia on it now, because if I don't do it now, I will forget. And then we'll activate that first. See? So silly. So silly. Let's zoom you back out. And let's get this activated. There we go. Now I'm going to try as well to do his little tail. You know what, I'm going to go in with the blue on his tail, because it's already got some green that's merged into it a little bit. I think trying to do it in pink, it'll just end up muddy. So because he's blue, I'll just do his tail blue, why not? So going back in with the, not dark aquamarine, where's the iris blue. I'm just going to do his tail with that, or else we're going to end up with a muddy tail. And I don't want a muddy tail. Although he's probably been walking through the mud, this little mouse, hasn't he? But there we go. Oh, I've just dropped some water on the page. Where was it? I saw a drop of water land. I was like, ah. Yeah, do that. So these little earrings I'm going to be doing in some sort of glitter gel pen or metallic, as well as these the little tie things on him. I might actually do them the red oxide actually. Was it red oxide? Yeah, red oxide. I'm going to go in on them. I don't think they would be metallic, looking at them actually. But the earrings, the belt, the little axe thing up here I will do in metallics. Can you hear my daughter singing now? There we go. Right, let's see what paints I've got. Let's see what might look quite nice on the little axe. I'm thinking this is a quite nice colour. Also this one I really like. Let's just pop water on them both. Oh, that's running into the gold as well. Let's let that sit for a couple of minutes. Just let it do its thing. But yeah, I'm liking how this is looking. We've got an awful glow. If I turn my light off, it looks really dark. See, does that look really dark? But when we turn it on, we've got this sort of a glare. Is that one better? I think that one might be a bit better. Let's have a look at these colours. I think that colour might be the best, the lightest one. This is running into each other. Yeah, I think I'll go with this one for the top of that. Now these sort of metallic paints will go over your line art. So if you don't want this sort of black line art to disappear, then you might want to use something else. Maybe a gel pen instead or something, but I'm not too fussed. If you don't put too much of a heavy covering on there, it will still show through slightly like it is doing with this now. But generally it will cover it up a bit. That's really pretty. Now this bit in the middle, I'm not sure what to do that. You know what, I'm going to go in with the red oxide for that. Just because I'm unsure of what else colour to do it. I don't want it to be metallic because then it'll draw attention away from this bit. Let's clean my brush off. Yeah, that's quite nice. So I'm going to use the metallics again for around here. This is going to be really, really fiddly for the little mouse's earrings. I think I'm going to do them gold. This lovely gold colour here. This is a gorgeous set. It's from Renaissance. You can find them on Etsy. But it's a gorgeous little set. Got a bit too much pigment on my brush there. Need to be careful. There we go. Oh, I've missed a little earring on the other side. Why do I always miss little bits? I don't think I'm very observant, am I? There's this teeny tiny, tap my brush off, teeny tiny earring over here. There we go. And then I've got that little blue bit that I missed, which you can only see if I zoom in really far. This little white spot you can see under the earring, that should be blue. So that's part of the mouse's ear, which, yeah, I totally forgot about it again because I'm barking mad. So, I think, can I get in here without making that metallic paint run onto me? Yep, just about got in. I don't even think it really needs activating. You don't have to activate these pencils as well. You can actually use them. Like if you wanted to, how I've coloured all this now, I've activated it, I've painted it. As long as it's completely dry, if you wanted to then go over the top with pencils, these pencils, to do your shading, and then not activate them and then just leave them, you could. You could if you wanted to do that. So that's part 2, guys. Please stay tuned for part 3. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when that goes up. That is going to be all the fun bits and finishing off the page. It's going to be the shading that is going to give it more depth, and it's going to be all the little white gel pen detailings and other metallic accents that are just going to make the page, and hopefully it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. So hopefully you can join me for that part 3. I do hope you enjoyed watching. Please do hit the thumbs up on the way out, subscribe if you're new, and drop me a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.